Hello, this is Jaiye Bynoe on the Jayman Show on WC 2.9 FM, Boston local community radio station. I'm your host, Jaiye Bynoe, and my guest today is Safiya Leslie, a wonderful R&B artist. How are you, Safiya? Thank you on the show today.
Good, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Also, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got started in music?
Well, I'm a musician. I'm known around Boston and New York. I started in New York, of course, because that's where I'm from. My background is Trinidadian, Jamaican, and American. My dad's Jamaican, my other dad is American, and my mom is Trinidadian. So I have all the roots, and that's kind of where my artistry stems from, just being a Caribbean American. And pretty much I've always been surrounded around music. And just that's how it came to be.
I exactly, yeah, because I saw a video about your black protest, and that was really inspiring. I loved it. What you said on Facebook was really powerful. And so how do you feel about this whole race profile wrestling? Because it's so sad what's going on. I mean,
I'm sorry, pardon, you broke up just a little bit. Sorry about that.
I was asking. I saw a video on Facebook about the Black Lives Matter protest, and that was really inspiring. What made you say that? I mean, how do you feel about about the George Foreman incident, and how does this affect? How does this affect you as an African American woman?
Well, pretty much like this is every day for us, and it's like it's never gonna stop until people like understand that it's every day.
Yeah.
And pretty much that conversation stemmed from I've been having conversations with Black and Latino and LGBT Trump supporters, and they are not getting why all lives matter is kind of problematic, which is kind of confusing to me because I'm like, you're Black, you're Latina, and you're LGBT. So, that's kind of like where the problem stems from, like trying to get people to understand like it's not like just Black Lives Matter. It's Black Lives Matter when all lives, when all lives matter, when Black Lives matter. And it's just kind of getting people to be more open to other people's experiences, as well as trying to actually communicate with people instead of just knocking people down. Because everybody has a different point of view, but if you're not going to be open to other people's point of view, then like why even be there with your standpoint,
Yeah.
if you can't even defend your standpoint correctly and listen to other people's standpoints of that sort of thing. So that's where that conversation stands from. And like I said, it's every day for us. George Floyd was just another person who we've seen, and every Black American, every Caribbean American, any African from the continent American can tell you stories of police injustice that have happened to them, can tell you the fear of what it is like to be pulled over and not understanding like, hey, I might not come out alive from being pulled over. Like there is a certain level of fear that certain Americans, people of color, feel that white Americans don't feel, and that needs to be acknowledged.
Okay, and that's very true. Yeah. I that's very true. Have you done any protesting lately? Are you protesting?
I'm not protesting. I'm helping a sister protest due to health reasons. So I'm like helping people and tracking them on GPS to make sure that they're okay and checking in, as well as facilitating protests online. And that's the best that I could do. Everything for me is online right now. I'm not interacting with anybody because of Corona.
Yeah.
And it's great to understand that you don't have to protest. There are other things that you could be doing. Like I'm the president of the Caribbean Club at Berkeley, and even though I'm leaving, like I graduated, I'm still helping with change happening with the community, the Black community on campus. Like there's certain things that you can be doing even though you're not on the streets, like
Yeah. I hear you absolutely. So can you tell me about your music? What kind of music that you like to record? Because you're such a great singer. I saw you being in, like I love the song Fire. That's a beautiful song, And that was so. Can you tell me about your music, and what made you?
So my music is actually protest music. Reggae, the art of reggae is protest, and that's why I find the genre so beautiful. There's always something that could be said with reggae, and like all of the songs that will be put out, majority of them will be a form of like what's going on. Even though like wrote these songs like in 2016 and 2015, and even before that, they still resonate now to a point where like the people must stand up, the world must understand that. Um, like one of the other songs I have on the record is called Mr. President. I wrote that when this president got elected, and you know, just seeing how sad it was the day after he got elected, and just understanding like, yo, like what the hell are you doing? You know, what are you doing to this country? And then just seeing who we put in office. Like I talk about the education, the Secretary of Education, don't understand her, don't understand why she's here and what she's doing. She's just said so many problematic things. That's mentioned. His response to Puerto Rico is mentioned in the song. Flint, Michigan is mentioned in the song. You know, just to talk about like all of these things that are important. But as a president, you're just neglecting all of these topics, you know? So what are you doing? You know, that's kind of like what the song is about. And Babylon Things, which is the fire song that you mentioned, Babylon Things is in Jamaica, Babylon is like everything that puts you down. So I'm saying like put that on fire, like just set it on fire, you know, just let it just completely be burned, because we have to tackle these things, you know. We can't keep living our lives underneath something. We have to uplift one another. So that's kind of like what that song's about as well. And then the rest of the songs, you'll see. But those are the main two songs that are on the album.
Okay, sounds good. So did you send a song to the president that you wrote? Have you sent it to the White House so we can hear it? Song, Mr. President.
Oh, you want me to play it?
Oh yeah, you can play it. Yes, we can. Yeah, you can play it. That's up to you. Yeah.
So I'm actually gonna play you the live version because the studio version needs to be completely mixed and stuff. But let me see. If I play it through Zoom, would you hear it?
Oh yeah, yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
Actually, I could share the screen with you.
Okay, yeah.
That would actually be better.
Okay.
Let's see. All right.
Okay.
Oops. Go out of that. Okay, I'm gonna share the screen.
Okay.
Oh, you have to allow it to be shared.
Oh, sorry, I have to go share. Okay.
Yes.
Do it's on Zoom. Do I have to go to gallery exit?
I think you could if you hit the share screen, there should be something to allow me to share.
Okay. I see it. I see it. Okay. Do you see it now? I said so press share. Okay.
Let's see.
Okay. Okay. I think is it working?
Let's see. No.
I hit share, but I mean I thought I hit share. I mean I see it right in front of me.
I could actually send you the link on here, and then you could share the screen for the people.
Okay, yeah, that'll work. Okay, yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Let me put it in the chat. That's the link right there.
Okay. Okay. I see. Okay. So share. Okay. I think I see it. Okay. I see it. Okay. So click on it. Yes.
Yeah, it's still disabled. So if you play it on your side and then you share the screen, then everybody could watch it.
Oh yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, because I got the YouTube link right now. But when I click on it, it doesn't go on. It doesn't come up though. You know.
Let's see.
Yeah, because I got one in front of me, and I'm trying to share it.
Let's see.
Yeah.
I know. The Zoom live.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I work on Zoom. I'm not sure if I work on Zoom or not. You know,
Because usually if you hit share screen on your side,
Yeah.
on the Zoom, it should allow you to share your screen.
Okay. Yeah, I did it again. I mean, share. So. Share computer sound. Is that share?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Computer. Okay. 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 Let's try it now. Yeah, I hate share. Oh, I think it's doing it now. Share computer sound. Okay.
No.
Yeah, but that's good. And I'm not really good at computers myself.
Let's see. Let me see if I can look this up real quick.
Yeah.
How to. Let's see. All right. On the main page. Okay. Open up Zoom on your computer. Select share screen.
On my computer.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll open up some on my computer. Okay. Okay. So okay. 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 And I hit share. Now hit share.
Yeah.
Is it on video? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I believe so.
Okay. I hit open video. I think it is an optimized screen share for the video clip. Video clip. That might be maybe.
Huh.
I mean, I know.
Okay. You have a Mac?
Oh, yeah. I got a Mac. Yeah, Apple Mac.
Okay, so go in. There is something called on the next to the Apple sign. There's Zoom.us, right?
Assume. Okay. Apple sign. Okay.
Then there's Zoom.us. You're gonna hit the Zoom.us next to the Apple.
Oh, okay.
And then you're gonna see about Zoom, preferences, all of that.
Okay. So is it okay? Yeah, Zoom. Okay, I see. Okay. Zoom.us is it Zoom.us?
Yeah, Zoom.us, and then
Okay.
in the middle it says screen share.
Okay. Screen Zoom.us. In meeting, it says screen share. Meeting, right? It says screen share.
It says join meeting, start meeting, schedule meeting, then screen share.
Oh, schedule meeting. Okay, screen. Okay, schedule. Okay. Yeah, I see. Yeah, it says schedule meeting, but I can't. I see it, but I won't. Let me click on it though. It says uninstall Zoom. But it says schedule meeting. Schedule meeting, but I won't let me click on screen share.
Oh, that's weird.
I know. Yeah, that's weird though, because I see. I see it. I see that. But won't let me click on it though. Yeah.
That is weird. Let's see. Huh.
I know.
And in the bottom of your screen where it says screen share, like next to participants chat screen share.
Yeah, I see. Yep. Okay.
That but does it let you click on that one?
Okay, so I click on your name. It says more.
Yes.
Okay, yep, I see. Okay, I see more chat stuff. What should I click on? Allow host chat.
Yes.
So click on chat. I'll click on make host, allow recording, or rename.
Yeah. Try and make me a host. Let's see if that works.
Make host. Okay.
Okay, here we go. I got it.
Okay, great. Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Boom. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I see. I see that. Yeah. I see a screen. Yeah. Okay.
So got it. Nice. And it's full screen?
Yeah, full screen. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I see it.
Nice.
All right.
All right. So this is Mr. President.
All right. Great.
All right. Here you go.
All these people who don't know how to lie, in a night when the stress because the money's right. But we don't know it's right to say. Got an education who won't tell the truth. Money is the only thing that makes them move. They don't want to say that it's not there. You gotta believe that you're not the I'm gonna get around. What's the use of you? I can't get used to you. What the hell is it for the money I don't wait? It's not TV, so we gotta take it. Tell me what the use of you? I can't get used to you. You see it buzzing like a fire in the field. Who was the one that seemed to end? It's so sad. You see that buzzing on the fire, not a kneeling here. You want to lots of people to believe in you. They're used to you. Let's go president. There's talks about abortion, but they're killing us already. The land of thin Michigan is already unsteady. They don't want us to prosper. You tear on the members of the KKK, taking torches and all you choose to look the other way. What has happened to this nation? You don't but I'm gonna get around to be what's the use of you. I'm not the really use by you. What's the use of the world, but it's not okay. I'm tired and it's okay. What's the use of you? I'm not the really use by you. You see that what's the right? Who was the one that was sweet to rest? It's your own judgment. See the question of the family and the word. You want a lot of people to believe in you. You see the person with the fire with the shadows and the rumors of one never seem to rest. You gotta face your own judgment. You see the person with the fire and the healing here. You want a lot of people to believe in you. I hope you guys enjoyed this.
Yes, so that's Mr. President.
Yeah, that's a beautiful song. You know, I think we should. That's a great song. Wow, you I mean, you actually you're good in concert. You know, I love your performance. You know.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, have you sent that? Have you sent that song to the president at the White House so we can hear it?
No, I didn't send it to him, but you know, it is what it is.
Do you think you might want to send it so we can hear it? Maybe it might help him change his way, be a better president.
Maybe. I mean, I've performed it at every festival I've done.
Okay.
So if he's to hear it, he's to hear it.
Okay. I hear you though. I hear you. Yeah. So my next question is, what advice can you give people that want to be an artist like you? What advice can you give them to be a good singer like you, or that want to visit business?
Well, I feel like everybody can sing if they put their hearts in, but I would say if they want to be a musician, don't quit. I think it's easy for people to get started and they easily get they feel like they're disadvantaged and they just, stop what they're doing altogether. If you really want it, don't quit. Another advice that I've been telling people, which is very important as a musician, but people sleep on it because they don't focus on it. As a musician, you're a business. So you must treat yourself as such. You must register as a business. You must do everything as a business. It's nice to gig and everything, but if you're not a business, you could be taken advantage of. And a lot of musicians get taken advantage of because they don't think of themselves as a business, as a corporation, as a LLC, as an S Corp. All of these things are important. Register yourself. In Boston, it's super easy. You pay like $60 something. Go to the state, the courts, whatever, city place, and you just say, hey, I want to be a business. Here's my business name. You paid a fee and you have a business, get a business account, do the whole nine, set up your whole thing, and make sure you have your own bank account for a business. If you need business credit, then that could be involved with that. The most important thing is to be a business. Like, you'll get taken advantage of really quickly, especially I've seen in Boston, but all over the world. But in Boston, people like to take advantage of young musicians, and musicians have to fight, they have to be better. They have to think quicker than their opponent,
Okay, so where do you go to register as a musician in Boston? Is it City Hall Plaza?
Yes, City Hall Plaza. You go there. You can register your business. Don't even think of it as a musician. Just like you're a business. Like same way I work in pet care as a business is the same way as a musician. I'm a business. So you just go to City Plaza. You register. Another thing is Boston specifically has a lot for musicians, and a lot of people don't know that. Like, you could get grants as a musician. I got a grant from the city to do work. There are so many grants and opportunities. You could easily be an artist. Like, you could be an artist registered with the city of Boston. And that in turn could provide you with places to stay. Like, if there's artist housing, a lot of people don't know that. There's artists like places that the state will give you to perform. Okay. So there's like so many different opportunities as a musician in Boston. And I just wish people would take advantage of that and be in the know,
Okay, and can you also register online with register in person?
Register in person, yes. When it comes to being the business, you register in person. When it comes to being an artist, like like city documented artist of Boston, you go online. You go on the cityboston.gov website.
Okay, and it just costs $60 register. That's it.
I think it's 60 or 65. I registered a couple years ago, so I don't remember. And I think it's good for like it's either good for 4 years or 6 years, but I completely forgot.
Okay, I'll make sure I check it out because that's a good.
Yeah.
And okay, thanks for telling me that. Okay, so how's the coronavirus affecting you? Are you still able to do shows right now with the pandemic, or is it on hold for you?
The coronavirus completely messed up everything for musicians all over. It's I don't know any musician or any entertainer, any person behind the scenes who works like sound people or light people. Our industry is completely gone. Like, it's so sad. You can't perform live. Everything's online, but even that has some risk, because if you have a full band, but let's say just one person has corona and they don't know, you infect the rest of the band, which infects the rest of the household, which infects whoever else you come in contact with. So you got to be very careful. And especially if you're immunocompromised, like I am, you don't want to risk it. So like I'm barely interacting with people as it is. Like, I get food delivered, like groceries delivered to my house. Like, it's that deep. But like, that's been a struggle, because as much as I would like to have my musicians come in and we do a live show, I could probably only bring one person that I know for a fact has not interacted with other people in like 3 weeks to come in to do that type of thing. And like, I'm trying to work on that right now to see who I can get, but it's just so much of a risk. And as a live entertainer, like, I do festivals, I do live gigs, I was supposed to start a residency in April, and that completely got ripe. Like, it really hurts to like have all of your gigs canceled. So it's crazy.
Okay, so right now you're not doing any shows as of right now?
As of right now, I'm trying to do like a live stream, but right now, as in terms of like live shows for people in the public, that's a no, probably till next year.
Okay. Oh wow, that bad.
And that's for most musicians.
Wow, I see. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so what gives you inspiration to write songs? What gives you creativity, inspiration?
Well, like I said, with reggae, it's kind of like you just tell the world how you feel, and that's pretty much what I do. I tell the world. Sorry, they're doing construction outside, but I tell the world like what I'm feeling at the time. Like Mr. Prez, I was very upset about how he was interacting with Puerto Ricans after the hurricane. And I just wrote the song because it was just like a buildup of like all of these things. Even reading books, I have a song called Let's Pretend. And Let's Pretend, I actually had the melody and I had the bass line and the horn line in my head for years. But it wasn't until I read a book series called Divergent that the rest of the song kind of came to, like, the meaning of the song came to pass. Thank you. Sorry. Marnie. Is it okay? That's perfect. Thank you. I want to drop it. I'm so sorry. It's okay. Thank you. Are you sure? You can drop it, yes. Oops, sorry. Okay. Everything was in stock. Thank you so much. My wife has sprained ankle, so just delivering it for her. So. Thank you. No problem. Have a nice day. Sorry about that. My dog likes to bark off at people.
Yeah, no problem. Okay.
Yes, but yeah, like Let's Pretend. The Finnish lyrics happened after I resonated with that book. Like the series changed my life, and just the relationship between characters was like, oh, I could actually like empathize with what's going on because of my own situation. I was like, okay, let me finish the song. Boom. And that's what happened. So like anything pretty much that impacts my life is what inspires me to like write songs.
Okay, yeah, so I see you do a lot of traveling, right? Overseas. Where have you traveled to?
I've traveled to almost every continent but the Europe and Africa, and I wanted to travel. I had so many travel plans booked this year. I was supposed to travel to Puerto Rico for Afro Nation. That got canceled right when Corona like hit America. I wanted to travel to the USVI. That was another trip that I was trying to do. I was trying to travel to the UK. I was trying to travel to Madagascar. And everything got canceled. Everything. And that's part of my artistry as well, because I travel so much, and because of my background with my parents, I'm just exposed to a whole bunch of music. So when I travel, I like get to meet so many different people, so many different genres. And like if you ever been to one of my live shows, like I literally tell people, when you come into the show, get ready to get all your passport stamps and we're going to travel. And like even during Corona, like I started like a playlist on Spotify with a blog that will like every week we pick a country that people had submitted that they wanted to hear the music from. And I literally do like ethnomusicology on the music that I'm researching and put out a playlist and just be like, here, these are all the genres that come from this country. This is what I learned about the country while researching. And here's some things that if you choose to travel, this is how I would do it. This is all of the music ways you could travel through this country. Yeah. So I just, traveling brings people together. And there's, for me, other than like music, travel is one of the most beautiful things that you could really get to unite people with. You know, you think you know something about a country, but then you go to the country and it's like, boom, you know, like, this is so amazing. Like one of the places I went to was Hong Kong.
Wow.
And Hong Kong, my uncle actually lives there. And Hong Kong it's you know, it's what's going on in Hong Kong is tragic right now because they were owned by the British.
Yeah.
But the British literally signed a contract with China and said in 50 something years, you will get to own Hong Kong again. So all these people are liberated and they're happy and they're you know, westernized, and then now it's like time is running up on that contract and they're looking at the future of like what China is and they're like, we don't want that. Mm-hmm. And just seeing what's going on there and being there in person to fully understand the situation is eye-opening because you get both sides. You get there's a contract, but you also get like these people live a certain type of way and they don't want to give that up. And it's actually very inspiring to see how they're trying to fight the system, you know?
Yeah.
And that was one of the most, in China, in Hong Kong is amazing to begin with, you know, just the culture. But there are certain, people don't notice, but there's also a part of China was Portuguese owned. And they're like, you literally go into it and you see Portuguese on the wall, like that's a way to like read, and you're like, what is Portuguese doing in China? But you get to see like, hey, there's a history here, you know. Belize was another one. I went to Belize and I was confused. I was like, yo, why are you speaking Patois? Like, I thought you guys are supposed to speak Spanish because you're a Latin American country. These people are speaking full-on Patois. They sound like Jamaicans. And they even like their history and their background and the things they eat and the words they use is like Jamaicans. And it was just like, whoa, like how did that come to be? Like, why? You know what I mean? It was just so amazing to see, like, you don't know everything. And every time I travel, it's just like, you don't know anything, because it's just like there's a whole history and background and culture that is completely hidden from you. Unless you go there, you won't know, you know?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It sounds like you've been to a lot of travel.
I love to travel.
Me too. I love traveling to Florida, Disney World. Yes, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I actually went to Mexico, and that was great.
Yeah, Mexico's another one. Mexico has such a rich culture.
Yeah.
I've been to most of the coastal regions on Mexico, and just like I went cave diving over there. They have this like whole like network of like rivers below the ground.
Wow.
It's like, for me, when I was down there, and it was just a surreal thing. Like, we had the lights on our helmets and stuff in the gear, and we turned off all the lights, and you realize you're like 100 feet below the earth, like, you know, where people are, and it's just quiet, like the most quiet. It's so quiet that it's scary, because it's just like you're surrounded by darkness, like it's completely dark, and it's just like, wow. You know, like this is what it is down here when you're not here, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. And after the experience, I was just like, this is probably what the Spaniards and all of these colonizers was trying to look for when they said the fountain of youth, because it's a whole network, you know, of untouched water.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's amazing. Mexico is an amazing country. I tell everybody, go to Mexico. It's one of my favorite places I've been to, and I've been there many times.
Yeah, it was a great time being there. Right?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. You know. Where do you see yourself 10 years from now? 10 years down the line?
10 years down the line, well, hopefully I'd visit every continent by then, talking about travel. But honestly, I just want to be happy. A lot of people like, do you want to be famous? I don't want to be famous. I just I want to perform festivals. I want to like make people happy with music. I would love to be able to do festivals all over the world. I was actually trying to be in Puerto Rico and do music while I was there, but that, unfortunately, Corona. But like, I would hope by then, like, I had traveled and I'd performed. And I don't want to be famous. Like, I just want to just do music and make people happy, you know? And that's pretty much what I would want to see myself in 10 years. I mean, the way the world is going, I don't know if we have 10 years to go, but
yeah, that's true.
But, you know, definitely those are, like, my life is really simple. Just make people happy, perform.
Okay.
You know?
Okay, so you don't want to be famous style whatsoever. I mean, so
no, I wouldn't want to be famous. Like, I don't want people following me and paparazzi life and tabloid. I don't want that life. I look at famous people and I feel sorry for them, because to have someone just stalk you just to get one clip of you, that's too much for me. I love people. I'm an extreme extrovert. But like, when you kind of intervene with my personal life, like I can't go to the supermarket without someone like, nah, that's a no. I just want to be known by a little select group of people who love music, and we good to go.
Oh, yeah, that's good. I hear you. I know what you mean. Yeah. So have you met any stars of famous people? Yeah. Yes, you know?
Pardon?
Have you met any stars? Any celebrities?
Well, I actually, during my time in Boston, I actually got to open up for a couple of Caribbean people. I got to meet, I opened up for, his name is, I was going to say the wrong name.
Okay.
It's not Protege, Lord. Wow, it completely went out my head. What's his name? That's terrible. I literally had the name in my head.
Okay.
But he's a dancehall artist, and he does the song. Man, as soon as you asked me that, it completely went out my head. That's terrible. Like I have the song in my head right now.
Okay.
Oh, Constance.
Okay.
Constance.
Okay.
That's who I opened for. I opened up for another reggae artist called Kez Namdi, who is amazing. He's like fantastic. We opened for him in the Red Room. The other artist that I opened up for was he's a calypso artist, and he sings "Don't Stop, Non Stop for Me." Everything you want, nigga, right on me. Do la hip da da da. That song, but I forgot his name too. All of the name, I am so terrible with names, but he is another one who I've opened up for.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've met Robert Glasper. I've met Melody Gardot in terms of like jazz artists. Jill Scott. Oh God, I forgot her name too. India Arie. Like I got to meet a lot of great people. A lot of great people. Yeah.
Yeah, because you said you met Jill Scott. Yeah, I met Jill Scott. So see pictures. I met Jill Scott too. She is nice.
Yes, she's very nice, and she's very real. Like the woman is real. Like she'll tell you her whole life story and how she got to be there and the whole nine. She's just so amazing. She's amazing.
Yeah, I also because I'm at Shanti, Michelle Obama,
Nice.
yeah, Beyonce, Maya,
Nice.
yeah, let's see, 50 Cent, yeah.
Oh, come on,
Yeah,
nice.
great. Yes, I met some stars myself. Yeah, and they're all nice. Yeah.
Yeah, they're dope.
Yeah. So what do we can do to change the world to make the world better?
What we could do to change the world? Well, pretty much everybody should just tell their story, their experiences. I think a lot of people raise their children to be more quiet and inside and don't show how you feel and don't cry and all of these things. But I feel like we're in a time now where it's time to break that. It's time to break that bondage. That's what it is. It's bondage. We got to be more open and we got to be more out there because like, especially now, like I'm listening to people and what they're saying and I'm just like, but you didn't hear this person's story. You're denying this person their humanity and their humility because you're not listening to their story, you know? And even in terms of like the woman right now, there was this woman who was assaulted and she wanted to tell her officials in the military and they found her murdered. And it's just heartbreaking, but there are so many women, like it even became a whole like Me Too moment, you know, with the woman in the military saying, yeah, this happens. And someone in the news on the New York Post literally said, it's part of the journey of being a woman in the military. Like you will be sexually assaulted. And people were harassing like the families and stuff. But it's like, you're not listening to what these women have to say. You know, it's sad what happened to this woman, but this is also happening on a bigger scale. Like you need to listen. And like even now there's another movement happening with upper graduates, like graduate level and PhD people who are Black, and they're like, yo, there is racism in upper levels of education, and this is what has happened. These are the biases I face. These are the racist comments I face. Like this is a problem in our institutions as well. And it's just an amazing movement where people, there's so many different things I'm seeing on Facebook and Instagram and all over on Twitter, where there's these movements of people telling their stories. And that is something that doesn't usually happen. So I feel like that is a step in the right direction for us to get greater awareness of each other. Because I feel like in the past, we didn't have awareness of each other, you know? Right. It's like you hear the stories, but it's just like, oh, that just happened to this person, you know? And that's kind of like the mindset. No, it actually happened to X amount of people, and we need to take note of that.
You do, absolutely.
Yeah, so I think the first step is what we're doing now. The first step is talking and communicating.
I definitely I put myself because the way this world is going, we need more communication, more talk, and we do. I agree. Yeah. So what can we do to support you? What can we do to support you in your music? How can we support you?
A community in music.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, the best thing you could do for a person in like in music is just to share their work. Okay. Make it like a lot of people say, oh, I feel that, I mean, it's kind of sad now because a lot of people regret it, especially at Berklee College of Music. Like, you have so many people performing all at once and you're like, oh, I'll come to yours, and you don't go. So a lot of people are feeling bad because they're like, oh man, I wish I would have went and supported when I had the opportunity to. But I feel like now that everything's online, the most important thing you could do is share people's music, share their live streams. If you have a podcast, make a space for them. If you have a blog, make a space for them. Like, I started my blog and I started the playlist and I started to say, hey, anybody from Colombia, any musicians from Colombia, you want a little Spotify, you want to be on a Spotify playlist? And I'm like, here, there you go. Boom, you're on the playlist. And just getting awareness for certain people you normally wouldn't know have certain music, that's the best way to do it. Share is the way to go. Just making people aware of what is going on with that specific artist.
Absolutely. Now that you got to college, right? What did you agree to do now you graduated in music business, right?
Music business and music production.
Okay, so what does that able to do now? Can you start a record label?
Yes, if I wanted to start a record label, I could. If I wanted to start a music studio, I could. I majored in those two things, and I actually minored in ethnomusicology because I wanted to be able to have all the tools I needed to do my own thing. Okay. Like, I love working for people. No, I don't even, let me rephrase that. I hate working for people. I love working for myself. I literally own 3 businesses. But like, I feel like for me specifically, I'm going to use the tools that I got from Berklee to be better for myself, be better for those around me, and then put up a place. Like, there's a place in Boston called the Black Market, which is kind of like a community space. I would love to have one of those, or 2 of those, or even 3 of those around different cities. Like, have one in Boston, have one in New York, have one abroad, in the Caribbean, and just have the space be like a performance venue, be a dance studio, be a poetry night, be a, what I mean? Like, have such a space for artists and creatives to just be, be welcomed and supported in their own space. If a music studio on the bottom, if you let's say you wanted to do like a little something because upstairs you got so inspired, you're like, oh my God, I gotta like lay the track now. You have that space, that's what I would love to do.
Yeah. So do you have any plans for summertime, like going to the beach or going to any travel plans or any shutdown? No?
Well, my travel plans is completely shut down, unfortunately, because I was, like I said, I was supposed to travel like 5 places this summer. But honestly, right now my plans are to just keep working on music, to work on the blog and eventually hopefully a podcast for the playlist, as well as just fully establishing and learning about, like, right now I'm working on passive income and learning about real estate, and we're working on stocks and stuff like that, just learning the different ways that I could do that, because the first step is to learn, and investigate. So that's kind of like where I am right now in terms of like headspace, and right now, because I'm actually have to leave Boston and go back home to New York because of Corona. It kind of took up my whole like work life. So because I'm not really getting much income now, I have to actually go back home to New York until, things come back up. But right now I'm just exploring Boston. Like, I went to the Quincy Quarries the other day and fell in love. with like all of the art on the mountains situation. So just seeing different areas of Boston and what I had missed during my 5 years here.
Wow. Okay. So when are you going back to New York next week?
The end of August. So right when my lease is up here in Boston, I'm going back to New York. As soon as performance venues open in Boston, I'll be back to perform. But until then, it's gonna be a back and forth thing.
Okay. I see. Hopefully I can see. Hopefully I can see him before you go.
Yeah, I definitely missed the Beehive. That was my spot, the Beehive. And it's so sad because I don't know if you know the Suya joint. I was supposed to actually start a residency there.
Okay.
And do some African music, which I was so looking forward. You could ask the people at Suya Joint from the moment I stepped foot in there and had their jollof rice. I was like, yo, do you have performances here? Like that's like 2015. And they were like, no, but we would love to. And then finally at the beginning of this year, they were like, yeah, we'd love to have you. We know that you want to be here. Let's do it. Let's have a plan. Let's architect this whole thing out. And then Corona happened, and it kind of just was like, man, all things in its time, I guess, because right when things was moving, you know.
That happened. I understand. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, because you're a great performer. So you interview. So I love your songs. You're a great performer. You're great, and I definitely gonna go far. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you say that you have a podcast.
But I'm in the process of working on it. It's been a slow and steady race because everything kind of happened at the spur of the moment. Because what had happened with the playlist, the playlist and the blog that I'd started was that, like I said, when I perform, I tell people, are you ready to get your passport stamps? Like, where are we going to? What are we singing about? We going to Haiti? Boom, let's sing some Haiti songs, Haitian songs. We're going to like Japan? Let's do these songs. And it's just been so sad because my audience, they're like, man, we miss you. Like, I want to just travel right now. Like, I can't even do that. And I'm like, yeah, trust me, I know how that feels, And they were like, yeah, I miss you. I'd love to go to your shows. Like, you kind of gave me an escape from, life when I went to your shows, And just hearing that, it was very like eye-opening, like people actually like what I'm doing. And I was like, you know what? I asked people on Instagram and I was like, if I was to do like a playlist and we travel through music, would you listen? And like 100%, everybody said yes. So I started off with the playlist. We did Brazil, and every week I asked people, and they would vote. They'd be like, which country you want? They'd give me the countries, and then they, as a whole, they would vote on which country they would like to listen to. And the first couple of playlists was Brazil, New Zealand, and Colombia. And each country was so different and great and unique and just flavorful. And then people are just like, man, I think you should do a podcast. And I was like, yo, I think I want to do that too. But then I realized you can't really play music on podcasts. So that kind of is like where the back thing is. Especially if it's copyrighted music, like you need permission. So that's kind of like where the problem is right now. So if I wanted to do like a music podcast, what that entails. So right now I'm in the learning process of what that entails. But I said, would a blog, like I asked people again, I was like, would a blog kind of like be legit for you? And they were like, yeah, we'll take the blog until the playlist, the podcast can be. So it'd be great to do a podcast, but there's just so much legal situations that come with music on a podcast that I didn't even know. Like I listened to so much music podcasts. I thought it was so easy. Like you just play the people music, you talk about it, boom. But no, there's a lot of legal stuff you got to take care of first.
I guess true, because that is true, but I mean, because like I said, I mean, I love your music, I mean, you're able for me, and I support you any way I can, So what can my question? What can we do to support you in your career? How can we support you?
Honestly, just keep being y'all. just like honestly, I am one of those people. Like I'm not gonna ask you for money. I understand you and me don't got it. So like, when I do live streams, just come through. Come have a conversation like what we're doing now. I could be performing and you put a comment. I'll be like, oh, yeah, let's talk about it. You know, just randomly stop the performance. Let's talk, then sing a song about what we was just talking about, you know? I'm all about community.
Okay.
So like if you want to be involved with me as a community person, let's get it. Like we feed off each other's energy. So that's all I could give and all I could offer. And then again, like I have a friend who've been listening to the podcast and they sent me a video. They were like, oh my God, and they're dancing. They're like, yeah, I love this playlist. And I'm like, which playlist is this? They were like, yeah, this is Ivory Coast. I was like, that's my favorite playlist too. And just having that interaction was just great because it was like, yay, people are listening and they're enjoying it. And that's all I love. Like, just give me that. That's the best thing for me, you know, I could receive. Just you enjoying yourself on your free time, listening to music and being like, okay, I feel this compa, I feel this juke, you know. Let me learn more about the country. And like people have literally been telling me, man, because you did this playlist, I want to go here. Mm-hmm. Because you did this, I want to go here. Or because you sing about, like I did a show about Puerto Rican music. Like I did some Plena and Bomba, and someone said when they were in Puerto Rico, they was like, I'm in Puerto Rico. And I was just like, yay, you know, just having people do that, you know, it just makes me feel so good that like the music is speaking to them on such a different level. Mm-hmm. And that's all it's about. That's all I love. That's what it is. If I can inspire someone to travel or to listen to a different thing that they've never been exposed to, never grew up with, mm-hmm. that's like the biggest present anyone could give me.
Absolutely. So yeah. So anyway, so if you get a podcast, I'll let come on. I'll let come on for podcast, you know. I'll let come on your show. If you get a podcast, that'd be great, you know.
Oh, pardon? Sorry.
I'll say if you get a podcast, I'll let come on your podcast.
Oh yes, definitely. You are welcome. Definitely.
That'd be great, you know. Because you know, I enjoy talking, you know, in your shows. You know, it's so good to have a conversation with you because I support you and everything you do.
Thank you. And I'm happy to be on your show as well. Definitely when that does happen, whenever that time is with the podcast, definitely.
Okay, so where can we find you on social media?
So on Instagram, it's Safiya, SAFIYA.music. Okay. That's the music one. And then if you look up, because there's so many Safiyas that spell their name like me, mm-hmm. If you look up safiya.reggae.jazz on Facebook, mm-hmm. It will pop up as me.
Okay, that's wonderful. Yeah. And so so one last question. So what trying to get an answer, I mean, so what artists do you look up to as an artist? Who inspires you?
Man, so for me, the names I'm about to give is like the obvious. I love world musicians and I love musicians who have something to say. Okay. So you have Bob Marley, mm-hmm. You have Celia Cruz, and you have Fela Kuti. Those are like the three main guys, you know, like what Bob Marley did in Jamaica and around the world. Even now, like I'm learning so much about what his impact on reggae around the world is just so amazing. Like when I did the New Zealand podcast, mm-hmm. I learned that the South Pacific people mm-hmm. were introduced to reggae can be pinpointed to a tour and a date that Bob Marley went into the country. And it's just like, wow, this man was so impactful. Like he touched the whole region and they had their own reggae system because of that. Like Bob Marley is number one. Yeah. Celia Cruz did it for the Latin Americans, like her story, her background. If you like telenovelas, but like, and you don't mind like subtitles, there's actually on Netflix like a kind of like documentary telenovela of her life called Celia. And it's just like, this woman was amazing. Like she was banned, she was ostracized from the country of Cuba because of her music. And she had to live in America, and just seeing her fight and and the way that he wanted to come back to Cuba, to the lands he loved, you know, just that passion that came across in her music is just amazing. And then Fela Kuti was like the Bob Marley in Africa. Like, this guy was Afrobeat, you know, his linear lines and his like his pieces were like 16 minutes long, and it just told such a story. You know, it's just amazing to musically hear all of those things. But man, right now though, the only artist that I can say is really doing it for me right now is an artist called Chronix.
Okay.
He's a reggae artist. This guy, his band is like 100% like one of the best bands live I've heard. And his words, again, I'm all about people's words and their lyrics. And like, his lyrics are so powerful. Every one of his songs are powerful. And you know, it resonates. The genres that he uses is reggae, but he'll like introduce different genres in his songs. Like, there's a song where you can kind of hear like some contemporary Christian music in there. You're like, oh, this kind of sounds like CCM, but it's not. It's reggae, you know? And just the way that he introduces that is just beautiful. It's beautiful. The lyrics is beautiful. That's the goal. If I could be like a Chronix Bob Marley as a female version and write those type of lyrics, that's the goal.
Okay. Yeah, I love Bob Marley. He was a great musician.
Yeah.
I can make okay, but you said you don't. But you said again, you said you don't want to be famous. So I just want to be.
No, I just want to write inspirational music and perform live for different artists, but not on the famous level where paparazzi's out here hunting you down.
Okay, yeah, because because you're not into into the money or getting a music award like a Grammy. I mean, stars. You're not into how.
Yeah, like if my community loves me, I'm happy with that.
Okay, I hear you. Because we all love you. I love you because you're a good musician, so I support you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, very much. It's good. It's so good to meet you again. You know, and learn more about your story. You know, and yeah. I hope to see you before you go to New York. You know, of course.
Thank you.
Because I definitely want to see you perform. You know, and I'd love to meet you again sometime before you go and talk to you in person. You know, so.
Yes, but my time in Boston's not up. I know my life in Boston is definitely far from over. Even though I'm moving back to New York, I'm definitely gonna be in Boston again. Like, as soon as the performance venues open up, I'll be right back, you know? It's just like, just living in Boston is not affordable to begin with. And then on top of that, not being able to perform, not being able to, like, I work in pet care, and because people don't vacation right now and they're working from home, my jobs are limited. So it's kind of like, you know, you got to do what you got to do to survive until life goes back to normal.
So you work at pet care?
Yeah, I work in pet care. I train, I groom, I walk dogs.
Okay.
I have my dog with me, but if you were seeing me this weekend, I had like 3 other dogs plus her with me. So, you know, their animals are great.
Yeah, they are great. Because my cousin has a dog, so you know, it's a big dog.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, it was so good to see you again. You know, hope to see you again.
Good to see you as well.
To see you again before you go. You know, I appreciate the interview. You know, you're such a good person, musician, and I support you.
Thank you.
So hopefully, I'll be in touch. You know, and I promise you're supposed to be this in clinic.
Yes.
Good. Well, you're good to see you. Take care of yourself. Hope to see you again.
You as well.
I wish you all the best. God bless you. Wish you all the best. Okay, to touch you soon.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Well, I'll see you. This was a great conversation.
I had a good time talking to you, meeting you. You know, learn more about you. You know, and I support you.
Yes, as well.
Thank you.
As well. I hope you're doing well as well.
You too. I'll be in touch. I promise you.
Okay. Goodbye. Have a great day.
I hope I shall see you today again. I appreciate it.